4, 3, 2, 1, go!
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out.
Hey, the Blitz is coming, boys.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Blitz. Y'all know what it is by now. We're giving you the latest and greatest in fantasy football news, injury reports, start sets, whatever you need, we got it in 5 minutes or less, because that's the program. That's what we're doing right now. So, in our latest episode, we got to talk about some high points coming out of week 3, some major players that have made some turns. Hopefully, you got or you saw our buy low targets, because a couple of those guys that were on that list, they made it onto this episode because their performances in week 3 are outstanding. And hopefully you got a chance to buy in and snake some of them players off of other rosters and get them onto yours. And of course, you know, we got some other news and information coming out, some stuff that's coming out of week 3's injury reports, some other tidbits that could be nuggets of wisdom, as it were, maybe for your fantasy league. So make sure that you're checking in on that as well. So before we know what we got to do before we get into the episode, make sure that you're following the Fantasy's Phinest YouTube channel, as the podcast will be updated every day on the channel. We're running a little late. I had some responsibilities to handle. But that aside, we're going Monday through Friday, every day, 5-minute podcast. So make sure you're checked in on that. We are also getting our episodes uploaded to Spotify. Right now it's Spotify. Trying to get into iHeartRadio as well, but we'll let you know when the podcast starts to be distributed on the audio side. So let's get right into it. We got some news, just a few notes from news. Bucky Irvin is expected to see an increase in snaps. This is coming by way of Todd Bowles, who's noted that Irving over the last few games has been very efficient with his carries, his touches, over starting running back Rashad White. So hopefully we can see more Bucky Irving. Maybe they could cause Bucky Irving's more snaps or a snap increase to become a note where he could force an even split with Rashad White. I won't say that it's going to be a complete takeover by Bucky, but it's good to see that he's going to get some more work moving forward. For Gardner Minshew, Antonio Pierce, head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, made mention that they could be thinking about a switch to quarterback to Aiden O'Connell after the Las Vegas Raiders got stomped out by the Carolina Panthers after Andy Dalton gets the start after Bryce Young was benched. 36-22 was the score in week 3. Jesus Christ. The Raiders got beat down. The only reason I laugh is because I started the Raiders defense, man. It was a horrible pick for me. And Tank Dell left the game in week 3 versus Minnesota with a wrist, hand, and rib injuries. According to reports, there's no structural damage on his ribs. The other injuries that he sustained were towards the later end or later part of the game. So just keep an eye on his status heading into week 3. Now, some keynotes from week 3, some guys that I was talking about beforehand that really popped off for week 3. Deontay Johnson and Amari Cooper, 2 guys that I had on my buy low list, completely went off in week 3. Both will likely finish as wide receivers, top 10 wide receivers for week 3. Deontay Johnson saw 14 targets with Andy Dalton versus the Raiders. He finished second among receiving yards with 122 for the week. Completely went ham. This is what I was expecting with Andy Dalton taking over and being able to see some more added volume, as Andy Dalton can actually get him the ball, Bryce Young. So that's a positive. Amari Cooper continues to see a large target volume. He had 2 touchdowns in week 3 versus the Giants. They didn't win the game, but Amari Cooper looks like he's back. He's continuing to gel with Deshaun Watson, which was a positive. I was definitely trying to get Amari Cooper off of some folks' fantasy teams before Sunday kicked in. Juwan Jennings, one of my calls for the waiver wire from last week, he completely shined with Brock Purdy, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns versus the Rams, completely went off. He's likely going to be your wide receiver 1 for week 3. He completely crushed it. And finally, Carson Steele from the Chiefs. He finished with 17 carries for 72 yards. He did see 2 targets, but he only caught 2 yards. And he also had 2 red zone tries to try and punch in a touchdown. Did not succeed. I had a lot of people going back and forth on our TikTok channel about Carson Steele and whether or not he's going to be the guy for the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward. Me, I'm going with Kareem Hunt. Hopefully, he's able to be elevated to the team in week 4. That's what I'm hoping for, and he gets that. He assumes that starting role. I think he's a little bit better than Carson Steele, as at least he's more versatile. He can be a pass catcher. He can be that do-all that he used to be when he was there with the Kansas City Chiefs during his rookie season. But that's it for the show. Make sure you check out. I did say 5 minutes or less, right? I'm a little bit over. But 5 minutes or less, that's a show. So make sure that you check out or subscribe to the Fantasy's Finest YouTube channel, and make sure that you're getting all of this information. Just wanted to get some props, pat myself on the back a little bit, but made some good calls. Not always going to make them right, but just wanted to show off a little bit. But that's it for the show. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out the latest episode of The Blitz, and I will catch you in our next one. Take it easy, guys.
Yo, come back now, yeah!